Because this thing works. You know? It's not like Africa Maibu or anything like that. I'm just saying.
Give him a break.
He is on a break. He's on a political break.
Stop it.
All right, on a serious note. I used to love school, right? Even from primary. And I remember our business economics teacher, Miss Badenhorst. Basically, she was telling us that the sole purpose of a business is to make a profit. Right? And that's just capitalism. That's what it is. Now, there are some people that start businesses for other reasons, but that's not necessarily a business. You see? Now you're talking about a non-profit organization, you're trying to fix social ills. I'm not saying any of that is wrong, but you're not talking business in the true sense of the word. In the business, you're trying to make a profit and maximize on it. So, over the last 13 years, Department of Small Business Development has spent 36 billion rand, that's billion with a B, funding small businesses. However, unemployment has gone up 8%, right? So people are saying, well, whatever they're doing is not working. I'm saying, well, it's kind of unfair to look at small businesses and think that they would be the be-all and end-all now of unemployment. Sure. Because really, it's government that's supposed to create jobs. Small businesses are just meant to make their own profits. In fact, if Mpo and I were to start a business, and then we figure out that, hey, if we fire everybody, we can be more efficient in this business and still be able to deliver a service, then by all means, the people have got to go. True. It's a very harsh way of saying it, but the people, labor, in other words, is only just one factor of production. And it's interchangeable. You can remove it, you can add more capital, add better entrepreneurship, all of those things. That's why you find that when companies don't do well, the first thing they'll go to is job cuts. And people say, no, it's inhumane to do that. It is inhumane. But if you're looking at it purely from a capitalistic perspective, bro, what are they meant to do? Now, somebody can make the argument that if you use government funds to bolster your business, start your business or support your business, then you do have some kind of a social duty, right? Because those funds come from all of us. That's part of the reason why me personally, I've never taken a government cent. Just, well, because of who I am. And I know that at some points, people can turn around and be like, hey, Sizwe, you see what I mean?
True.
It's also why it's better to always be in the private sector than to even provide government with any kind of a service. Because with government, people say, hey, you're overcharging, scalping, yada, yada, yada. And they've got a right to do that because it's their money too invested in this thing. So the question I'm here to ask is, if you look at an amount of 36 billion rand having been spent by Department of Small Business Development in small businesses in South Africa, is it fair for us to then take a look at unemployment and say, hey guys, what are you doing about this?
Not necessarily, because whether you like it or not, and you've said it on the show many, many times, at the end of the day, creation of jobs it's the responsibility of government, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you look at business, is that really how you can alleviate unemployment? Because statistically, not many companies make it after the first year of being in business. So you are literally just throwing, sounds bad to say, but you're throwing money down the drain.
And maybe I did create employment, just employment for myself and my family.
Yeah, and I want to come in here because, for people to create jobs or businesses to create jobs, we need a thriving economy. We need economic growth. And at the moment, we don't have that in the country. And I know that government keeps on saying that, well, let's fund more small businesses, and that's where, we'll see more job creation. And that's their focus really right now in terms of driving job creation. But at the end of the day, if there's no economic growth, there will be no job creation in the country.
No, 100%. That's a very good point. So over the weekend, I was actually at Cedar, I think. And I was just looking around, seeing how empty everything was.
Oh, yeah.
Tiger's Milk, empty. Yeah. Tiger's Milk used to be so packed, like the entire parking lot. So if the economy is so bad that people are so broke, what business can thrive in an environment like that?
Exactly to your point, Sizwe. I think it's a partnership, but I believe the real drivers of employment are entrepreneurs and small businesses, honestly, because government provides the skills, provides the infrastructure, provides that environment for businesses to grow essentially. And then that's why I'm saying that the real drivers of it would be small businesses.
Can I add
and
something?
entrepreneurs?
It can be, but not everybody's meant to be an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
And they definitely won't get it to a point where it's critical mass and they absorb 8% of the unemployed people that have grown over the last 13 years.
Because I was going to say, part of the barriers to that small medium business is the mentality of us, especially Kokasi. There is so much money in the townships, but more often than not, it leaves the township. So perhaps we also need to find a way of shifting the mindset to say you are better off spending the money within the township so that businesses can grow. If businesses grow, then employment can be created. But as long as you're still getting onto a taxi to go to a town to go spend the money with the white person, we're gonna have
There's things that I need that I can't get like Kazi.
And also, government provides the policies as well for you as an entrepreneur to actually run your business in the way you run your business.
How else are they gonna grow and become like those white businesses if we're not supporting them?
But even the cost of living is preposterous, right? So even once I've created that small business, now what I need to pay myself to survive is so high that it leaves nothing left in the kitty for me to be able to employ anybody else. What are your thoughts?
I guess this one, boy, 36 billion in a decade. That's nothing, my brother. They're supposed to be funding each business with 36 billion lava. Then you can talk about, alleviating employment rates in the country. See the great in us.
That's funny. Something else that we need to speak about, by the way, is funding based on merit versus funding based on relationship. If you fund based on merit, you'll fund only the good prospects business, right? And those are likely to succeed and end up employing more people. However, if you fund based on relationships, in other words, just people that you know, nepotism and the likes, then the business models that you fund may not be as strong and robust.
Morning sees the world. Mpo, I hear what you're saying, Uti. The money is not spent within Ekasi because one would get on a taxi to go to a mall. But if you look at the development of Ekasi, we've got now AMA malls, right? But it's unfortunate, Uti, even those very malls are not owned by Abantu Abamnyama. And the very malls do not have all the other shops that we would want to go to. Like for instance, you'll never find a Woolies food Ekasi. You can only find it Goody Burbs. So I guess even if there's entrepreneurship and trying to alleviate poverty through employment, creating employment, we still have a long way to go. The government needs to play a huge part, more than us entrepreneurs play in the economy.
Sizwe, I'd like to correct you about one thing. The government is not supposed to create jobs. You are wrong there. I don't know if you misspoke or not, but they are rather supposed to create the conditions for businesses to thrive. And by thriving, they in turn create jobs. Already as it is, the government has a bloated wage bill. Too many government employees, some of them are just idle, not actually doing anything. So, just my point there.
Okay, so let us know what your thoughts are. 08600000959.